All right, ladies and gentlemen. Kitty, good to see you. Yeah, today we are going to check out Kagurabachi. I heard a lot about this series, and apparently the series is popular enough to dethrone One Piece for a little bit, but I'm interested in trying to see how that came about. So, let's get started, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome to me reacting to the first 5 chapters of Kagurabachi. It is a recent series that debuted, I believe in September. And yeah, Halster, there are 5 chapters out. 1 chapter came out yesterday, so it seems that these chapters release on a Sunday interval as well as One Piece, My Hero, and Jujutsu. So that's a thing. Lonely Meiji says time for Kagurabachi. Memes aside, you think it's a decent series so far? I'll see. I'm reading it, but I just want to experience it, but there's no guarantee that it'll turn into like another series I add on top of everything else I do. So hopefully it's interesting enough to me. Hopefully it's interesting enough to me to see it as something that is, worthy of adding to the amount of things that I react to right now. But let's go ahead and get started with chapter 1, shall we? This probably won't be too long, just depending on how quickly I get through these chapters. Yeah, the first chapter debuted in September, so it's not even a... Yeah, it's not even... It's going to be a month old tomorrow. Or at least, month old for, debuting it in the US. So, let me just make sure my nasal passages are good and everything, so it doesn't feel like stuff is clogged in the back of my throat. Just want to make sure I'm good before I start reading. So what's the theme? The story, if I go to the synopsis here on Viz, Chihiro's cursed past sends him down a quest of bloody revenge. So that's what it says on Viz. So let me see if I can pull up another synopsis before I start reading. What is the full synopsis? Thank you, Manga Plus. Young Chihiro spends his days training under his famous swordsmith father. One day he hopes to become a great sword maker himself. The goofy father and the serious son. They thought these days would last forever. But suddenly tragedy strikes. A dark day soaked in blood. Chihiro and his blade now live only for revenge. Epic sword battle action. And that's what it says on Manga Plus. So, let's see. Already read all the chapters, but I'll wait to give my opinion until after I'm done. Psycho, good to see you. We are reacting to Kagurabachi today. And if you guys want to follow where I'm following, you can either go on Viz or you can go on Manga Plus as another option for you. Let's begin with chapter 1. And it has these 2 individuals who are creating a sword. And I guess the older man goes, "All right." Forging, also known as tanren, is an important process in making Japanese swords. Tamahagane, steel made from iron sand, is hammered thin, folded, and hammered again to strengthen it and establish the right carbon content through tanren and several other highly skilled processes. The lump of steel is transformed into a beautiful, strong katana. Kagurabachi, Chapter 1, Mission. And we cut to this building where this individual is just slicing straight through people. And they do not skimp out on the gore, apparently, on this fully colored cover page, this fully colored page here, as whoever's wielding this katana is slicing straight through people as if they're just butter. Limbs flying, an entire torso is, disconnected from the rest of the body.
Okay, let's get to it. Look at that, Chihiro. The sun's all bright today.
Yeah, it's sunny.
Yo, son! You trying to tell us to play outside?
What's up with him today?
Yeesh.
And I guess this is Chihiro's dad. And then we see some fire in one panel, and they're inside working on making a sword. While the father is, stoking the flames, Chihiro is, I guess, chopping some wood. And he glances over at his dad. My dad's name is Kunishige Rokuhira. He's the most famous Kunishige Rokuhira. I just wanted to make sure I got that name right on the first try. My dad's name is Kunishige Rokuhira. He's the most famous swordsmith in the land. He makes special katana with his own unique method. And it just shows his father hammering while he's making swords. I train rigorously with him every day.
Okay.
And they're just making swords. Right now, Dad's in serious mode. It's way different from his usual stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. True. Yeah.
And Kunishige is speaking to his goldfish, like speaking to his fish in a bowl. Dad, breakfast is ready.
Oh, thanks.
You were listening to your pet fish just now, huh? Normally, people do the talking.
Oh, yeah. Oops, my bad. Now, let's eat!
Oops. Did the goldfish say anything?
More than anything. They just want to dedicate themselves to learning.
And the fish are kind of talking to him in Chihiro's head. It's like the fish are actually talking to him, and the fish are going like, learning.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
We want to dedicate ourselves.
Right.
To learning.
Give me a break, goes Chihiro. And his dad is just eating. Then it cuts back to them smithing. Come to think of it, Dad's the one who brought these little guys here.
Chihiro! Get ready to freak out. Look what I got.
What?
Scored them on the way back from the sword polishers.
Scored what?
Fresh goldfish! Aren't you more excited?
Who do you think's gonna end up taking care of them? Not you, right? And his dad is kind of sweating, and that is because apparently Chihiro's dad is not very responsible.
But the shop guy said goldfish are good luck.
And you believed him?
The red one attracts good fortune, the black one wards off evil, and the 3-colored one? It's supposed to be totally amazing.
You don't say.
Anyway, they're good luck, so now we have fresh goldfish as pets. And if we have fresh goldfish in the house...
Could you quit saying fresh?
Why?
When you say a fish fresh, it sounds like you're gonna eat it. When my dad made a face... And his dad makes a face like, "Aw." When my dad made a face like, "Oh, that's an idea," I decided to take care of the goldfish. It's just one more responsibility for me. My dad's a real handful. Then it cuts back to Chihiro and his dad just steadily smithing over and over and over and over and over again. And then we get someone walking up to their place.
Oh, they're at it. Want to stop for lunch soon?
Yeah.
Yo, Chihiro, your arms are getting swole.
Oh, yeah?
I think they're bigger than mine.
And his dad flexes a really big muscle. Oh, brought some souvenirs. Man, I'm beat. And this is the same person that walked up to their house.
Ah, Shiba!
Ah, so that's his name.
Ever hear of calling first?
Sorry. How are you doing, Chihiro? Same as ever.
How was town?
Definitely not peaceful.
Gotcha.
Mr. Shiba is an old friend of Dad's who stops by sometimes.
Dang.
Sure grew some. It sure grew, huh, Chihiro? You think so? Probably means the fish.
Yeah, well, I'm still bigger. Too bad.
Yeah, And Chihiro is not fazed at all. He got you slaving away still?
Yeah. Still.
Well, he's a great teacher. You know, your dad.
Can it, Shiba?
Oh, come on. Your dad, 15 years ago in the Seitei War, was more famous than guys like me who actually fought at the battlefield. It's no exaggeration to say the epic swords he made ended the war. Don't forget that. Your dad saved a lot of people. He's a hero.
Yeah, I've heard that hundreds of times.
Yeah, well, you always look happy to hear it. You're a hard worker, aren't you, Chihiro? I'm sure you'll be like your old man one day.
Yeah, heard that hundreds of times too.
And Kunishige is not saying anything. And Chihiro is looking back at his dad. And then time passes, and then Shiba goes, I talk too much. Bye. And he just leaves. And then Shige is just, I'm just going to nickname him Shige at this point. Shige just cracks his neck and goes, ugh.
What's up?
You're going to be 15 soon. If you want to be a real swordsmith, it's about time I show you the stuff that ain't so bright and shiny. That's all.
Huh? Then do it.
And then Shige looks at his son.
Just so you know, I'm not joking about becoming a swordsmith. I'm serious. I want to follow in your footsteps.
And then Shige just goes, yeah, okay, I know. And then we go into a room where Shige grabs a sword that's just in his room by itself. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Pardon me. There's a few of them stored in the basement. Mostly katana I made before you were born, Chihiro.
Katana used in the war?
Yeah. Katana have always saved lives and slashed open new eras. But I'm sure you know, they're still tools for killing people. And? He takes the sword from its sheath and he slices straight through a bamboo training post. We are complicit in the deaths they cause. If they fall into evil hands, they can kill good people. As swordsmiths, we have to always keep that in mind. Katana should be wielded by those dedicated to vanquishing evil and protecting the weak. That goes for us, too. We need to have principles and accountability. One day, you'll sell your first katana, and when you hand someone a katana, those two heavy weights will fall on your shoulders. Can you carry that burden? As he puts the sword back in his sheath. And then Chihiro, I don't know why I keep thinking of calling him Chirohige. I'm sorry. Chihiro just goes,
I don't know, but I'm committed to taking it on.
And then his father just slightly smiles at him. Okay, then let's get back to work.
That's it?
Yeah, if that's how you feel, all that's left is for me to believe in you.
That's my dad,
goes Chihiro. And we just see his father just walking out of the room, and we just see his back.
Clean up the mess you made.
Oops, sorry.
And then we cut to another building. We cut to another building that looks eerily like the building that's on the front cover page. And we get this one dude with this connected mustache into his sideburns going, enough, kill him. 38 months later. And it shows a bunch of people who are just getting sliced through. These look like Yakuza. And they're just slicing through people. One of them is just slices through a guy like torso straight out of his shoulder. You usually don't get cuts that are at that angle. It's either cutting people's heads off or maybe slicing them, but not from like when they slice from halfway up the torso. So I don't usually see those angles of cuts all the time. Usually it goes straight all the way through, but not halfway. But someone just dies.
So, you're the last one. We can't just kill you quick. You bunch of jokers. Each time I see these, they piss me off.
And the papers say, drive out the Kurogumi, never yield, win back our city, anti-Kurogumi movement. So I guess These dudes are part of this group called the Kurogumi.
Now why don't you tell us who else is a part of your movement?
Poor thing. He's scared speechless.
You.
What?
Before you Kurogumi rats came here, this was a peaceful city, ruling the streets with violence, seizing all the land and money you want. You're the jokers! Just a bunch of maggots infesting the streets!
And then the connected mustache dude hits this guy straight in the face.
Love your bravery, but listen up, you little punk. Do you know who's backing us?
A sorcerer, right? So what? The grown-ups are all scared, but I don't care. There's no reason to just roll over and let you rule us. Just let me at that sorcerer.
How fascinating, says a person with a long braid and a hat on. And then all of a sudden, roots start to come up out of the ground around this guy.
Excuse me, Mr. Yakuza boss. I received your payment for the officials. You know, I think bravery is often rooted in ignorance. Have you ever seen sorcery?
And the very roots that came up out of the ground grow into a tree that surround this guy's head with needles, which start going into his head. Like, it's poking him in the face. And he's being forced up and held up by this tree while these needles from the branches are just sticking him in the face. Think of that moment where Ebony Maw had Doctor Strange at his mercy and was putting like those glass needles into his face. It's kind of like that for this guy.
I asked you a question. It's your first time, isn't it?
And this dude with the braid, this apparent sorcerer, he has like this one blacked out eye with the white dot in the middle, and his other eye is normal.
Yes! I thought so. Mr. Yakuza boss, so long as you make your payments, we don't mind how you do your job. But when I see upstarts like this, I do worry about your organization.
My apologies.
We must school them properly.
As he puts his hand up, he also has a symbol that's on his hand that also goes up, that kind of partially goes up his middle finger. And he gets enveloped in flame as he goes,
"The tree will vanish in time."
And he just disappears into this flame as this guy is left stuck here with this tree just embedded around his face. And then we cut to train tracks. And mind you, this is 38 months later. And this is an older Chihiro. The one that we see on the cover. He's got like a scar across the side of his face that's like in a star shape. And Shiba's talking to him. Chihiro!
Mr. Shiba.
Morning! Mind if I take this seat?
Grilled smelt. We were supposed to meet at the station.
Mind you, he's not young anymore, so I
can't use this voice for him.
So? Man, what great weather. Great weather, huh?
I've never seen a guy walk around eating grilled fish.
What you staring at? Want some Chihiro? Want some Chihiro?
I'm good.
Okay, fine. And then Shiba starts eating the grilled fish. And Chihiro is just looking at him like, really? Then we arrive at the station. Hey, Chihiro, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
That scar, you could get it removed, right? It really stands out. Why don't you do something about it? And then Chihiro doesn't say anything.
Every morning, when I wash my face and look in the mirror, I see this scar, and I remember that day. So every day I start the morning with fresh hatred.
That wasn't a meme? That wasn't a meme? That's actually a line? That's actually a lining?
Every day I start the morning with fresh hatred.
That is such an that is such an edgy thing to say. I'm sorry, but it's really edgy.
So every day I start the morning with fresh hatred.
And you've been living like this ever since. then. It's gonna break you.
So, you want to stop me?
Then there's silence. Then we're at the station. This city is ruled by the Kurogumi Yakuza.
And those Yakuza are connected to them?
Yeah.
You sure?
Honestly, I can't be sure, but it's the only lead we've got, right?
True.
So what now?
We'll check it out and see if these Yakuza are reasonable men. If so, we'll propose a deal.
Reasonable, huh?
Those guys were in the anti-Kurogumi movement. Those guys were...
it's an old person.
Those guys were in the anti-Kurogumi movement, right? That's what they get for standing up to the Kurogumi.
And...
Hey now, they were fighting for us. Hey now, they were fighting for our citizens.
Yeah, and they should have known this would happen.
An opposition movement, huh? This is how the gangs keep people in line. They're sending a message to let everyone know that's what happens when you interfere.
Chihiro, what if the Kurogumi are colossal scumbags?
As it shows that the very individuals we saw getting butchered by the Yakuza earlier, a couple of pages ago, they were all hanged off a bridge for everyone to see.
Mr. Shiba, if we want to survive in this city, we have to
Oh wait, this is a citizen.
If we want to survive in...
It was a guy, sorry. If we want to survive in this city, we have to submit.
You know where their base is?
Yeah.
Take me there.
Yo, he's already starting. And then we get to the building.
Hey, it was a lot of work stringing them up. You guys could have helped out.
Yeah, you had enough, guys. We're busy watching the door.
By just sitting here? Nah, if some halfwit had the audacity to waltz up here, we'd take them out. Well, that's good. But is anyone really that stupid? They should just shut up and do what they're told.
For sure. And as soon as this one gang member says this, a whole sword comes flying in and slices the guy through the neck, killing him instantly. And the sword lands right next to the other guy who's all like, yeah, for sure. It just lands right next to him as he says, for sure. And kills the guy instantly because it slices through half of his neck. And then Shiba's right behind him going, okay, I'll take these guys. As it shows Chihiro, who's already on the table. Already on the table in an instant. And he's grabbing the dude in the back by the head going,
sorry to interrupt your conversation.
As he takes the sword out of the wall, and it's a short sword. I can't tell if it's a short sword or if it's just a straight up broken blade. He takes it out of the wall and in one swift motion spins around and slices through the necks of every person at the table.
Sorry to interrupt your conversation.
Who the heck? All dead. And then we get the handlebar guy.
Yeah, got it. Well done. Nothing good will come of holding out. We'll just have to get your family involved.
I have no family. And this is the same guy that was held up by the brambles from the sorcerer who disappeared earlier. He's still here.
I have no family. I just heard different. You have a kid's sister, right? She's at this address. Bring her here. Now you can hate yourself for not hiding her better. Let's go.
Wait!
Let's go.
Wait! Okay, I'll tell you everything I know, please! And as soon as the Yakuza open up the door, he's immediately stopped because Chihiro slices the guy straight through the shoulder, like straight up his right side. And as this happens, they all start screaming, but before they can even draw their swords, Chihiro cuts the guy's arm off, which is the same arm we saw at the beginning of this entire chapter. Hey! And then this same guy who was being held hostage, like being beaten up, all he can see is just the eyes of Chihiro, and everything else is blacked out as he's just cutting a swath through everybody.
Who the heck are you? Hey! Where are the guards?
Boss, these guys are slacking off. And this is Shiba just chilling This is Shiba just chilling after beating up the other guys who were outside.
That kid's the son of Kunishige Rokuhira. You've heard of him, right? The master swordsmith famous for his special technique nobody else can do?
What do you want?
I came to ask you something. And also, I can't allow slime like you to wield katana.
What? What a crock! Get him! Kill him! We'll string him up too!
And then Chihiro draws his other sword. Like his first sword is the short one. It's the short broken one. But above it is the sword he actually wants to use. And he starts to draw it.
Kunishige Rokuhira imbued his katana with sorcery. The katana he made were enchanted blades with special powers.
And then as he draws his as Chihiro draws his sword, he says, Enden. And it causes those very same goldfish that we've seen in the bowl just flow out from around him.
What?
The katana that boy wields was Kunishige's last katana, the one he gave his life to make. Black.
And as he says black, he just cuts the area in front of him, and everyone who runs in front of him, and mind you, there are tons of guys in front of him. And I'm not exaggerating. It's like you can't even see the background, like where their feet are, because there's just so many people. They all rush him. He says black. He swipes his sword in one direction and cuts straight through all of them. Instantly. And as those bodies are falling apart, he's rushing everyone else and just slicing apart everybody. Over and over and over again. And then he lands in a multitude of everyone else who's still standing, and he takes his sword and goes, Nishiki. And then it cuts to some birds on telephone wires as Shiba is just chilling out, having a smoke. And then he puts the cigarette out, and he enters into the building, and the whole building is just covered in bodies and blood.
Tell us what you know about the Hishaku.
The Hishaku? What are you talking about?
The group of sorcerers backing you. If you want to play dumb, that's fine. I'm sure your men are already waiting for you in hell.
You okay? As Shiba checks on the guy who was being held hostage.
The Hishaku. Those guys are monsters. If you want to pick a fight with monsters like that, you're insane.
Do I seem sane to you? I don't care if they're monsters. I have to cut them down.
And that is the end of the first chapter of Kagurabachi. All right, now I'm back. All right. Now let me see what you guys have said thus far. Fixed candies help wonders with allergies and nose tickles. Oh no, it was just me sneezing. I don't have anything going on. This gore is so refreshing every time you see it. Get the feeling it's about to get juicy. I was right. Yo, CDs, what's going on? Welcome to the shadows, Kyushu. What? What's going on? Got a feeling I only read chapter 1 and a few pages of chapter 2, but didn't finish. We're going through all the recent chapters. We're going through all the recent chapters that dropped. So we just got done with chapter 1. Honestly, pretty interesting. I'll give my opinions on everything once we get done with chapter 5. But let's continue with chapter 2. Pretty interesting. I mean, it's manga like this that makes me want to just play a game with a katana. Like, ooh, Cyberpunk is a good one. Just go into Cyberpunk, wield a katana, and then just take out everyone with a sword. I might do that after I'm done. Won't stream it, but I might start messing with my blade build again because of this. Chapter 2, Heaps.
There, got it. This must have been rough.
Thank you. Who are you guys?
I'm Shiba.
Oh,
I don't care if they're monsters.
I have to cut them down.
As Chihiro is pointing his sword at the handlebar guy. There you have it. Got that scum? Seriously, dude, you better listen to this guy. I'm here for support.
Thanks. All we know about the Hishaku is that they first emerged 4 years ago.
That's what we know.
Rumor has it they're a small elite group of sorcerers, but we can't be certain.
Too bad we can't be certain. And then Chihiro is just looking at Shiba like, do you really have to echo everything I'm saying? You don't need me chiming in?
Not even the first time. Tell me everything you know about the Hishaku.
Is it Hishaku or Hishaku? I want to say Hishaku. I want to say Hishaku, like a strong sha, and not like a strong Hishaku, like Hishaku. I want to say Hishaku. I want to say it like that. I don't know. Someone will correct me if I'm saying it, if I'm enunciating it wrong. I appreciate it.
Tell me everything you know about the Hishaku.
Fine! Gah! What's with you guys?
The Hishaku.
Why don't we get some fresh air? Why don't we go get some fresh air, buddy?
Yeah?
And then the handlebar guy, he starts contorting. His eyes start rolling in his head. He starts sweating.
Hey, what's wrong?
Cough it up. And then handlebar mustache guy's face starts contorting more and more as his whole body erupts into roots. The very same roots that pretty much grabbed a hold of the guy earlier and almost was pretty much not only strangling him but puncturing him with tree needles. That erupts from this dude's body.
Run, you two!
Huh? As the whole area just erupts in massive roots that just take over everywhere. As Chihiro is slicing apart roots, the dude that was being held hostage, he just stands there and looks like,
Oh, I'm gonna die.
he said, run. Why are you looking back to see what you need to be running from? If you're telling me, run, you need to go, I'm running. Why am I going to look back and see what it is? I'm just going to run. When I know I am safe, then I will look around. I thought I saw something on my wall, but there's nothing there. Then I'm going to look around and see what was chasing me. But he's all like, just run.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
You're not gonna die, goes Shiba, and he puts his 2 fingers up, and they're both outside. Oh, is Shiba a sorcerer?
Yeah!
Sorry, that was a bit rough.
Huh? I'm outside.
You okay?
Wow, thank you.
How did you... I mean, you're in shock. Never seen that kind of sorcery before, huh? Of course, I guess most sorcerers are in the big city, so that's why there's still guys like you out in the sticks.
I feel sick.
You're young, too. More importantly, Chihiro! Oh, good, you're okay. And Chihiro's just got, blood on his face a little bit. Sheesh, that was close.
Yeah. How's that guy?
Oh, he's fine, just a little queasy.
That's good. Thank you. It happened the moment he started to talk about the Hishaku.
They must have put a spell on his body. They're thorough, I'll give him that. Still, though, the scale of it.
The sorcerer was definitely high level.
As it shows this Yakuza's body permanently contorted with roots just coming out of his face. His face is stretched because of the forced growth from within. And all over, you see all the dismembered bodies of the Yakuza that were caught up in these very same thorny brambles. It's the exact same type of tree. Think I'll head on back over to Tokyo.
And I'll go too.
And then Chihiro starts to wobble. Ugh, easy now. You burned up a lot today.
Still, 3 years ago the kid had 0 combat experience. He hasn't unlocked the enchanted blade's real potential yet, but it's impressive how far he's come.
And then we cut to the outside of the building, and then we cut to these different, Japanese lamps. and they're shining. And we get narration. Rokuhira's workshop and house were protected from the outside by a magic barrier. It was configured to alert me to... Oh, this is Shiba. Rokuhira's workshop and house were protected from the outside by a magic barrier. It was configured to alert me to any interference. So that day I rushed over. Oh no. As we see Chihiro in front of his home that's been completely demolished, and the trees in the back are all on fire, and we see Chihiro knelt over a body, and I'm pretty sure we can tell whose body this is. Body covered in blood, Shiba sweating, as we see Chihiro over his father. Rokuhira! Chihiro! Are you okay?
Mr. Shiba,
What on earth?
there were 3 sorcerers.
As the side of his face is bleeding, and that looks like it's come from the scar that he would later have. Comes from the cut that would later give him his scar, and he's clutching onto the sword that he would carry with him.
There were 3 sorcerers. They suddenly...
And we get a flashback as we see 3 sorcerers standing around Kunishige. Rokuhira. Yeah, just call him Rokuhira. Who's around Rokuhira. And in this group, we see a slightly familiar face. A slightly familiar visage. The same person we saw that had a hat on. So it looks like... I'm going to assume that one of the same sorcerers that was here that took out Rokuhira is the same dude we just seen inside of the Yakuza place. That's what I'm surmising. But we also got like a lady sorcerer as well with... Yeah, that's 4 fingers. I was about to say she ain't got no thumb, but it's really just her thumb is just behind her hand as she's, conjuring up magic. And Chihiro can't do anything but watch.
I blacked out. When I came to...
And then there's just silence. During the war, Rokuhira forged 6 enchanted blades and sent them out into the world. After the war, he retrieved all 6 and hid them in the cellars under his workshop. And we see the cellar where these 6 swords are supposed to be, and they've all been broken into. They're gone. At least it's good to see you're fine. Well, not exactly fine. That wound, you okay?
I'm fine. It's nothing.
Look, Chihiro. These are the enchanted blades. They each have a special power.
The kind of katana I should try to make.
Maybe.
Huh?
But listen, these aren't necessarily the right answer. You can't just strive to make strong enchanted blades. You're gonna have to look at the world through your own eyes and think carefully about what kind of katana it needs and why. I ponder that every day. Slowly but surely, we'll learn to do that together. And Chihiro's just chilling with his dad back then.
Yeah, but Dad, if you're gonna talk about serious stuff, you should wear a more serious shirt. It's distracting.
What? I thought this was cool!
You thought it was cool?
And after having this happy moment with father and son, we see Chihiro, and he's dead. We see Chihiro knelt over his father. I keep getting Chihiro and Rokuhira mixed up. Apologies, but we see the face of Rokuhira, and he's dead, and Chihiro is crying over him.
Who are they? Do they know how much Dad cared about the katana?
And as Shiba's consoling him, he's just thinking back.
All this. Why?
And we even go inside of the house, and those same goldfish that Rokuhira brought home, they're all dead. And it looks like they've been... I won't say they've been strung up, but they're just like covered in something. I can't tell.
Why?
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner. How did they find this place? And then Chihiro is thinking back to seeing the like overall visage of the man with the braid from earlier, and then he starts to get angry.
They have to know what Dad believed. I'll show them. I'll cut them all down.
The katana Chihiro wields now is the one Rokuhira spent years completing after the war and gave his life to protect, the seventh one. Since that day, there's been no reliable information about the Hishaku or the enchanted blades. Oh wait, this is Chihiro thinking to himself. Since that day, there's been no reliable information about the Hishaku or the enchanted blades. Just when we finally had a lead. At this very moment, someone could be using Dad's swords for evil. I have to find the Hishaku and the enchanted blades as soon as possible.
And as he unsheaths his sword, those very same goldfish that his father prized so much starts, materialize and start swimming around the sword. So not only is this I want to say the last sword that this is the last sword that Rokuhira made, but it's also a significant memento of his father because, he can't help but be reminded of his father because of those specific goldfish. And he's just chilling in an apartment building, just musing, thinking to himself. And we're in Tokyo. Chihiro! You're awake. As soon as everything's ready, we'll head out.
What?
We got to Tokyo just in time. We finally got a lead. There's been a signing of an enchanted blade. And then, as he's unsheathing his sword, he closes it, and then Chihiro just goes,
"Let's go."
To be continued, and that is the end of chapter 2. All right. Japan are confused why this manga is popular in the West. They didn't know it. They didn't know it's because of memes. See, here's the thing, Netta. Wait, I have face. Wait, wait, sorry. Welcome to the shadows. Is this your first time seeing my face? Is this the first time you're seeing my face? Wait, I have face cam on. When did this happen? Oh, you've never seen my face before. Interesting. Yeah, you would think that people who, subscribe to the channel from, I know people tend to come to my channel sometimes when I'm playing games, but it never occurs to me that sometimes people just don't go to my channel to see what my face looks like. Huh. Interesting. But second chapter down, kinda interested, especially with these enchanted blades and what they can do. So I'm just thinking, okay, so whatever type of swords that Rokuhira made, aside from the last sword that he made, and what is the name of the last sword? Like the sword that he has? Is it called Enten or is it Nishiki? No, Enten is the attack. I think it's the attack. Hold on. Let me go back to the beginning here. No. I could be wrong. It's not the... Yeah, I guess I'll find out the name of it later. All right. Let's continue on to chapter 3. I'll learn the name of it later. Chapter 3! And we start chapter 3 with this girl who's just at this shop.
This your first time in Tokyo?
As you know, Japan is a katana society. While it's legal to own a katana for self-defense, they also make the world more dangerous.
That's why the leaders of Yakuza gangs and big corporations are always in search of stronger self-defense measures. That's where these guys come in. Tokyo has more than 1,000 sorcerers, more than any other place in Japan. Connecting those parties is my job. This is a request from one of our regulars.
3 years earlier. How's it going, Hinao?
Not bad. It's been a minute. What you been up to?
Oh, this and that.
So what'll it be? I got a few juicy options. You can be a bodyguard for the CEO of Seikosha, or a bodyguard for the
What is this?
The text is kind of small sometimes. I'm used to the text being a certain size so I can read them easily. But here they want to make it difficult for me to read. So I'll just full screen it.
Or a bodyguard for the Ranjikai's chairman's daughter. Or security for the Toketsu estate.
No, I'm not here for work today.
Oh?
And now, have you heard of Kunishige Rokuhira?
Of course! What, you think I don't know anything?
Did you know he was murdered?
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard the news. This Hishaku group has claimed responsibility, and I hear they stole some enchanted blades. So...
Oh wait, this Hishaku group has claimed responsibility, and I heard they stole some enchanted blades.
So, what about it?
Oh, well, actually...
That was the first time I learned that Mr. Shiba was connected to Kunishige Rokuhira.
And then we cut to Chihiro when he was slightly younger at the time, with that ever-present look of hatred in his eyes.
After I heard their story, I agreed to help, but nothing turned up. So bored! It's always the same. Nothing but Yakuza and meathead sorcerers.
And then someone comes into the door.
Welcome!
And Hinao is surprised to see, like, a young girl walk into her building. Chapter 3, Witness. And then we cut to Shiba and Chihiro. Excuse us!
Keep it down! I hate loudmouth old dudes. Oh! Hey! Hey, Chihiro, looking cool as always.
Hi.
So cool, you're amazing!
Amazing.
Welcome!
Thanks for contacting us, Hinao. So, someone witnessed an enchanted blade, huh?
Yeah, she's sleeping in the back.
And it's the same little girl that walked into Hinao's building. And she's just snoring away. And then Shiba goes, Shiba goes, what, this little brat? She's the witness?
Yeah, she conked out right away.
And then the little girl, we cut to a flashback where the little girl was talking to Hinao.
Hello! Why, hello, you need something? I came to inquire about hiring a sorcerer. Excellent grammar, kid. How come? A bad guy's chasing me. I need protection. I see. In that case, how much money do you have? Zip, zilch, 0! Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. By the way, what kind of bad guy's after you? A bad guy with the most strongest sword!
And that catches Hinao's attention.
That was the aha moment. Like, that's gotta be an enchanted blade.
Well, can't know until we hear more, but seems kinda doubtful. Yeah.
Huh? How come?
From the sound of it, it's likely the kid's just goofing around. The most strongest sword? You can't just swallow some little kid's tail whole.
But you said even the slightest little lead. The hippo.
And then the kid is talking in her sleep.
The hippos.
Hippos?
Cell division.
She's talking in her sleep. What kind of dream is that?
She heard a cell division?
And then the kid wakes up. Ah! She's awake. A nightmare, huh?
Oh. Sorceries! Are you here to protect me?
Hold up there, Missy. Let's get some things straight. First off, why is this bad guy after you? And then the kid gets button-lipped. Huh? Is that all you've got? That didn't take long. Seems like the jig's up. This is no place to play around. Go home.
Mm-mm.
Are you lost?
I don't have a home.
No mom or dad? And the kid says no. An orphan, huh? Okay, well, that's a toughie. I guess we'll take her to an orphanage then. And then Chihiro looks at her and then kneels down. What about food? Have you eaten lately?
And there it is.
is.
As she says I, and her stomach growls, and she just goes,
And there it is.
And there what is? You haven't had anything, huh?
and then Sheba's taking note of how compassionate Chihiro is being right now.
You want something to eat?
Tempura soba. Oh, you mean it?
But you already said what you wanted.
And then it cuts to Sheba, who's outside outside of a restaurant, apparently. Chihiro's good at looking after people. Him looking after his dad and such. He had plenty of practice with his dad.
Here you go, 1 tempura soba.
Hey!
And a cold soba for you.
I'm Char.
Thank you. Oh, we're doing introductions now? I'm Chihiro.
And then Char is just eating her food.
If someone were to ask me if it was yummy, I would say yes.
Hey, Char. After we eat, I'll take you to an orphanage. There'll be kids to play with there.
What? You're not gonna protect me? I thought this soba was to seal the deal.
Who said anything about that? It's like Mr. Shiba said. That cafe's no place to be playing around.
I'm not playing around.
Then tell me why there's a bad guy after you.
Because...
You can't tell me because you haven't got an answer, right?
No! I just don't want to tell you.
And then someone walks into the soba shop.
Well then, tell me about this super strong sword. Huh? What?
A cloud comes out of it.
And then Chihiro is thinking back to a specific sword in its specific case.
Is that a coincidence? But a cloud? That's too specific. Hey, you're not really kidding around.
I'm not!
Did the bad guy have a flame symbol on his hand?
I don't think so.
You don't want to order? What do you mean?
Just get lost. Just get lost.
What? This is a restaurant. Order something or get out.
So, it's just the one guy with the sword.
No.
Shut up! As this individual who came into the shop, sat down, refused to order, takes 2 chopsticks, and stabs the shop owner in the throat with the chopsticks.
He's got a whole bunch of henchmen.
Well, well.
Well, well, I finally found you. But this is a surprise. You have a bodyguard.
As we see the shop owner slowly dying with chopsticks embedded in his throat. And the same dude stands up.
But this is a surprise. You have a bodyguard.
What a pain. Hey, what are you?
Invincible.
And this big, what is it called? This taka. It's a type of Japanese doll. It's like on this like round ball shape, and it has like this big eyes and a big face. I forget what it's called. I know what it is, but I know what type of toy it is, but I can't remember the exact name of it. That little doll flies up in the air, and it looks like it explodes. It looks like it's about to blow up. Oh no, it does. It does, and it sends Chihiro flying outside. The whole restaurant explodes and sends Chihiro outside.
What was that?
The sorcerer? Run!
Char wasn't lying. Someone's after her, and what Char saw was an enchanted blade. If so, this sorcerer is working with whoever has it. But why is Char? No, not now. Char, I'm sorry I doubted you.
Still alive and kicking, huh? Well, that's problematic.
I forgive you, but I forgive you just... Please save me!
As this one sorcerer is using these dolls to become extremely elastic and bind up Char right next to him.
Please save me!
You got it.
And interesting. Very interesting. This is very interesting. Emil Snowclips. Hello. Hey. Hi. How are you? Have to go back to work. Hit you up on Discord. It's all good, CDs. You'll be able to tune in to the VOD when this is completely done. But that was chapter 3. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. So now we got Chihiro going up against an actual sorcerer. And we're almost done with me reading through Kagurabachi. Still haven't fully committed to whether I'm going to do like a series and just react to every single one of these chapters. I still haven't decided yet, but we'll see what 4 and 5 can do for us. Chapter 4, Sorcery and the Enchanted Blade. I'm going to full screen this as well so I don't mess up any words.
Well, this is problematic. First thing is to save Char. Then I can find out if this guy has a connection to the Enchanted Blade. And then, all I want is the kid. I'm done with you.
Black, as he uses that same sword technique to cut the line that's separating Char, and she goes flying towards the ground.
Oh!
Sorcery? It slashes with spirit energy.
Mr. Shiba! And Shiba comes in and catches Char. Understood.
Huh?
Sorry, but this won't feel good. As
Another one? You won't get away!
And Shiba uses the same teleportation technique that he used with that dude that was being held up by the Kurogumi. And he teleports away, leaving just the dude with the hoop earrings and big bottom lip to face off against Chihiro.
Huh? What just happened?
You passed out while we were flipping around. Wait, you don't feel sick?
Nope.
I see.
There really was a bad guy sorcerer after her. And this kid.
Hey, what's all that stuff sorcery? Was all that stuff sorcery?
Yep.
Oh, I want to do sorcery too!
You can learn if you work like a maniac at it.
Huh?
The spirit energy that powers sorcery is basically life force. It slumbers within every human. It's in you too.
Spirit energy.
I'll say this once. Hand over that kid!
Sorry, I have my own priorities.
As Chihiro takes his sword and prepares to fight the sorcerer.
That's...
Goldfish?
To use your words, that is the most strongest sword. The enchanted blade amplifies the spirit energy inside a person and whips it up into such a hyper-concentrated form that the human body can no longer contain it. Once exposed, it takes on a shape. You could say the goldfish is a mass of energy far greater than what a sorcerer can muster alone.
Black.
And the sorcerer sees what's about to happen to him, and he ducks just in time to avoid suffering a cut that goes straight through the building behind him and even slices off a little bit of his cloak that's still airborne that didn't manage to catch up with him. Interesting.
He doesn't just create objects from spirit energy outside his body like me. That's spirit energy itself. Hey now, I don't believe this. An enchanted blade. So there's another one out there.
Another one? Then it is true.
Yes, that special spirit energy reaction that only an enchanted blade has. I never thought I'd lay eyes on another, much less have the opportunity to fight one.
And he starts shooting out more of those. I gotta find out, what is this doll's name? What is the name of this Japanese doll? Japanese round doll. Daruma! That's what it's called! I knew it was something Okay, so this particular sorcerer is using a sorcery that is themed around the Daruma doll. Daruma. And let me full screen this. He says,
I never thought I'd lay eyes on another, much less have the opportunity to fight one.
And he sends out multiple Daruma dolls against Chihiro. Now that I know what it is, I can better describe to you. If I have any new people who want to see what I'm seeing, go to either Viz or go to Manga Plus. Though Manga Plus, you'll have an easier time getting to the chapters because when it comes to Viz's site, you gotta jump. I feel like you gotta jump through some hurdles just to get to a chapter list for a very specific manga. Either that, or I just haven't figured out the shortcut. So if you guys want to see what I'm seeing, go to Manga Plus and check it out there.
Where's the other sword?
And he slices through, and it looks like he slices through one of the other Daruma dolls.
Where's the other sword?
Ha! Good question.
Who has it? Your boss?
An amateur, huh? You're supposed to defeat me before asking questions. Is this the fabled power that ended the war? Talk about anticlimactic. If that's all it does, then it isn't much different than ordinary sorcery.
As this dude starts conjuring up more Daruma dolls.
I sense the child. They're still nearby. You listening, you little brat? Quit giving me trouble! Watch carefully and see what happens when you go looking for help. It always ends the same. More people will die horribly trying to protect you. Just like your mother did.
Did this man kill Char's mother? Did this man kill Char's parents? And Sheba notices the face that Char gives while they're driving away in the car. And then Chihiro's there, and then Sheba puts a hand on the head of Char going, I don't know what happened, but don't worry. Just sit tight.
Now watch! May the death of this little punk remind you of your mother's miserable death while trying to protect you!
And then we get like a slight flashback image of apparently Char's mother going,
Char, there's never been such a meaningless and pathetic death. Remember that!
And this draws flashbacks from Chihiro as he thinks back to his father's face. And then we see the Daruma dolls that are all lined up a building where Chihiro is, and they all explode.
Chihiro!
And as they're driving away, the sorcerer is still laughing, going,
And don't forget, you're all alone!
But then we get someone saying, red. And then a red goldfish appears from behind Chihiro. And apparently it's a goldfish that can set things on fire because the whole space behind Chihiro as he brandishes his blade is engulfed in flames as a flaming goldfish, which is kind of a cool visual when you think about it. A flaming goldfish just swirls around him.
That's enough. As you say, we'll do questions later.
He blocked it? So it has multiple powers?
Black.
As he jumps in the air and his sword turns black and starts oozing black ooze, he launches at the sorcerer and slashes in its direction. And mind you, this is kind of like one of Sukuna's slashes from Jujutsu Kaisen. He slashes in one direction and the whole area next to the sorcerer erupts in a clean line.
He's been holding back. That was close. Black again. Another flying slash attack. In that case.
And he sends out multiple smaller Daruma dolls right underneath Chihiro. And as Chihiro jumps in the air to avoid the explosion,
He dodged it!
the same sorcerer is right behind Chihiro and starts to bind him with belts.
Too bad!
As he puts his hands together, preparing to launch like a point-blank Daruma doll explosion at Chihiro's back.
Red. Invincible.
And Chihiro points his sword towards the sorcerer, and the sword just explodes point blank. It sent out an explosion that hits the sorcerer point blank. The power of red isn't just for defense. It absorbs and seizes ownership. Now do you see why I told you to sit tight? As Char's watching the explosion happen and the sorcerer getting blasted by it, and Chihiro is fine. And then Sheba and company drive up, and then Char, acting like a spoiled rich kid, goes,
Chihiro, that was exceptionally wonderful.
Exceptionally.
You're worthy of protecting me.
I thought you were penniless.
And don't forget, you're all alone!
And those words are echoing and kind of resonating with Chihiro because he understands.
But I have a goal that matters more to me than anything else. And going after the guys who are after you will bring me closer to that goal. Since we share common interests, I'll protect you.
Really? Common interests are excellent.
Now, I have 3 questions.
As Chihiro walks up to the Dodoma sorcerer. I'm just going to call him the Dodoma sorcerer.
Now, I have 3 questions.
And he grabs him by the necktie.
Who's your boss?
What do you want?
What do you want with that kid? And where is the enchanted blade Cloud Gouger?
Okay, so we have a name of one of the enchanted blades. It's called Cloud Gouger. Interesting. Interesting. And that's the end of chapter 4. Onwards to the most recent chapter, obviously. Let me see. These chapters are pretty interesting. I will say that much. Trying to see if you guys said anything new, but y'all must be just listening in. That's fine. Chapter 5, A Good Meal.
Thank you, Hinao.
Glad we found something you could wear. It's a little big, but...
You look great. So my info was right. That's good.
And we have Char, who's in like some much better clothes, and she has like this really big jacket to the point where the sleeves are going over her hands, and she's just like a little kid, just flapping the sleeves around. I can't be the only one who did that a whole bunch. When you had like an oversized jacket on, and one of your thoughts was all like, "Oh, I can hit people with these, or I can twirl them really, 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 really hard." Mentality of children. It was back then. It was like, you could find enjoyment in some of the simplest of things. I'm gonna slap this sleeve on this table over and over and over until someone tells me to stop. It's the simplicity of it, you know?
So my info was right. That's good.
Thank you. It was a big help.
But why are sorcerers after this little girl?
I'd like to know that too.
Ah!
And it looks like, and Char falls over, going with Hinao going,
What's wrong? I'm hungry. I did have soba, but even so, it was only about 2 bites or... she's dead? Sorry, there's nothing to eat here.
All right, I'll go buy something. Keep an eye on Char for me, Hinao.
No problem.
and then Chihiro goes off and gets some food. And then while he's driving, we have a flashback to when they were still talking to the Dharma sorcerer. Is your hand okay, Chihiro?
Yeah.
First yesterday and now this. You must be fried, huh? Better recharge.
Yeah.
Well, we can't have you hanging around here. Take my car and Char back, and get some rest. Leave old Cylinder Head to me. I'll let you know what I find out. And then someone sneezes as Char is in the car with him. And then someone... Char was actually supposed to stay with Chihiro. So apparently family was asking me what I wanted to eat. Just listening and cooking. But just listening and cooking, been reading along since he only read up to chapter 2 up until now, of course. Okay, all right. We're almost done, and then I'll call it a session for today with Kagurabachi. But apparently Char has hitched a ride in the car with Chihiro, despite Chihiro wanting to go by himself. And then the phone rings. And it's Hinao.
Hinao speaking.
What's the deal?
You went to the bathroom before you left. That's when she snuck in.
I'm not asking how, I'm asking why.
Char insisted. She just really needed some fresh air. But now that I think about it, she's being chased by sorcerers, right? And who comes to this shop?
Sorceress.
If her pursuers came and found Char here, you think I can stop them?
No.
In other words, Char's way safer out on the town with you, Chihiro, right? Why the troubled face?
Because of you. I get where Hinao's coming from, but I can't have you taking risks just because you want some fresh air.
But I was cooped up inside for so long. Besides, even if the bad guys come, we'll be okay, right? You're super strong, Chihiro.
Cooped up inside, huh?
I was captured.
Why were you captured?
And Char still doesn't want to say.
Still don't want to say, huh? If I'm risking my life to protect you, I'd like to at least know why the enemy's after you and what they want.
And then they're both thinking back to when the Dharma sorcerer said,
The horrible death your mother suffered to protect you!
Fine. What do you want to eat?
A sandwich.
Then we cut to the Dharma sorcerer as he's being interrogated by Shiba.
I can't use my sorcery. What is this place?
I'll ask the questions, unless you're giving me an answer. Can it? Because apparently he has he's bound up by these rosary bead chains that have like a seal on it, so he can't use his sorcery or even get free at the moment. You know where an enchanted blade is, don't you?
Huh? Who said anything about...
Cut the act. Cut the act. Tell me what you know.
Ha! You'll have to do better then.
And it shows Shiba is using sorcery to crush the Dharma sorcerer's foot with enough force that it's not only breaking the ground, but it's pretty much squashing his foot all the way down. Where's the enchanted blade?
If I talk, we're both dead. I'm warning you, just hand over the kid without any more trouble. You don't want to get mixed up in this. The power behind this is far greater than you can fathom.
Then we cut to a place, a store called Babylonia.
Looks yummy.
And it's a big old sandwich.
Truly, I too want to thank you.
You too? Who else is there? Don't make a fuss.
Truly sublime.
Ready to head back?
And then we go to an ice cream shop called Tanda.
A meal must conclude with a proper finale. What a delicious looking finale!
You call dessert a finale, huh?
How delectable! My ears are tingling.
You mean mouth. Ready to head back?
And then we cut to another shop where Char gets a big old giant milkshake, and it's called Bloom. So we went to Babylonia, we went to Tanda, and now we're at the Bloom milkshake shop.
Last but not least, this washes it all down.
What about your finale? Don't...
You got to wash it all down to help the food reach its final destination. Sheesh, don't you know anything?
Who does she think she is? Thanks for the report. That Dharma-wielding moron. I told him it quite explicitly to be discreet. So you sat back and watched the whole thing and then had the gall to come back here without tailing the kid?
And some dude is just chilling in the bath, like in his own personal spa, while another member of his own group is strung up in front of him.
So you sat back and watched the whole thing and then had the gall to come back here without tailing the kid?
Kill me! Kill me!
Still, it's quite fascinating. So that's why that Daruma idiot lost. I've never heard of a goldfish enchanted blade. But if it's true, then it's not just the 6 blades. But why does that kid have it? So many fascinating mysteries. Any word from the others? No. Not so easy to find, huh? Time to change course. Go big or go home, as they say. Open the child's cage.
Phew! All done!
Satisfied?
As we cut back to, because this dude who's speaking has like these massive tattoos that covers his entire arm and half of his body, and then he has like these dark marks under his eye while he's chilling in his own pool, like his own heated sauna pool, while numerous women are, waiting on him. I mean, they're all clothed geishas, mind you, but he looks like a bigwig. But then we cut back to Chihiro and Char.
Done!
Satisfied?
Mm,
I'll take that as a yes.
I was in a dark place for a long time. The only food was mushy stuff. Mama told me 1,000,000 times to live a happy life. Today, I'm happy.
That's so.
And then, I know this is the Denden Mushi tone from One Piece, but someone's calling Chihiro, and it's Shiba.
Speaking.
It's Shiba.
Mr. Shiba.
Where are you at now?
Driving. It's a long story. In your car. He tell you anything?
Yeah, we have our next target.
Target?
Genichi Shoujo. He's a weapon stealer who controls Japan, a big fish of the underworld. And we get a name for the guy who's in his pool. Genichi Shoujo. Cylinderhead here works for him. He's the one after Char, and he has Cloud Gouger. And then it shows Chihiro at a stoplight, and the light is green.
It's green!
And Char looks up, and she sees numerous people who eerily have the same face. From how Cylinderhead talks and the fact that the guy has an enchanted blade, they've got to be connected to the Hishaku somehow. And on Chihiro's left side are 3 people with the same face, and on his right side, the same type of individuals. But then all of a sudden, before he can drive off, his tire starts to get embedded in the ground all of a sudden. It starts to get embedded in the ground, and the ground starts twisting, like the literal crosswalk in front of him start twisting around. And Chihiro notices. I'll contact him now and get her on the case. Let's meet at the shop and take it from there. I'm going to extract a bit more information before I head out. And these faces that look all the same, they stretch from the ground, like from these stripes, these contorted stripes, from this not the sidewalk, but crosswalk. Distorted crosswalk in the middle of the street. And it's like an amalgamation of bodies smashed together in suits, mind you. Smashed together, suited bodies going,
There's the kid. Gotcha. Be right there.
As Chihiro closes his phone and Char hides her head because we're about to run into another fight with Chihiro. And that pretty much catches me up on everything Kagurabachi based. So, that's such a cool name in your opinion. Genichi Shoujo? Yeah, it kind of is. Ain't gonna lie, you misread it as Gojo at first instead of Sojo. Yeah, I can see it because as soon as I see Sojo, I just think of like Satoru Gojo. Like when you see similar names like that, it's like, oh, that looks similar. You like the series, but you don't know if you want to be week to week. Might read every 3 weeks or something like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see how this thing managed to top One Piece. Is it cool? Yes, it is cool. Is the concept of enchanted swords that have magical powers in a world with sorcerers and people who want to get their hands on these swords, is the premise cool? Oh, the sword name? Oh, Cloud Gouger. Oh, that's the one. The concept of swords being enchanted and having special powers and such, and sorcerers being in this world, it's interesting, but honestly, I don't see how this beat out One Piece other than how everyone just turned this into the Morbius of manga. Because when you think about it, because if I pull up Kagurabachi popularity, yeah, with a reason. Let me see here. This was posted on September 26. Let's see. Kagurabachi manga and its hype train through memes and discourse online have been nothing short of impressive. So this thing has reached people's ears and attention simply because of how massive of a meme it actually is. While the second chapter is out now, the manga had already surpassed My Hero Academia and reached 5th place in Shueisha's Manga Plus hot list before it was published, and that feat continues even after its release. While the memes have certainly helped in giving the series a lot more exposure and generating interest, like Morbius, another reason for the early success has been the desire for new stories in the shonen genre. It's been a while since a new shonen manga has shown up and become the talk of the town, which is why Shonen Jump started their Next Wave initiative to promote new talents, especially considering the future of some of their most popular hits in recent years. So this thing really gained attention because people memed it. Yeah. It's gained popularity. It's gained popularity simply because people memed it, to the point where its popularity surpassed One Piece for a little bit, but not because it's like a series that is on par with One Piece, but because people memed it. So, since I'm not the type of person that just goes along with, memeing stuff, I mean, people made memes out of Morbius. I know it's a bad movie. I didn't see it, and it's like, okay. But I read Kagura. I read all 5 chapters that is out right now, and honestly, I mean, it's okay. Did I think some of the things were cool? Yes. I always find it when you see like swordsmanship in manga and different things cool. I mean, granted, I read through the entirety of Demon Slayer. Still need to get all of the volumes, but I read through the entirety of Demon Slayer, and the swordsmanship in that one is like on a whole nother different level than just, enchanted swords, do special powers and such. Not trying to dismiss what Kagurabachi's doing, but it's not really grabbing me as much. And yes, Halster, it's not a bad series at all. It's not a bad series. It's just that I don't understand the hype. Is it because the people who find it popular are also into that edgy main character vibe? Because that's not what draws me to characters. I mean, I like Rock Lee more than I like Sasuke. So maybe it's just my personal taste, but having a really edgy main character who's just like cold and distant with everything, that's not what really resonates with me. I mean, if you can get me engrossed with a person's character like quickly, early on, then that's one good sign. But I see the memes. This is your personal opinion. You have read Demon Slayer as well. It's all right, and it's all right at best for you. Hey, to each their own. that's your personal opinion. I think Demon Slayer is a fantastic series. Muzan Kibutsuji and everything that happened with him throughout the series, I loved everything about it. Now, one thing I will say is that Tanjiro really got on my nerves with the fact that really got on my nerves with like that one fight with Akaza, and y'all know it because I literally lost it when I read through that chapter where he was all like, Akaza, I'm gonna cut off your head, and I'm thinking like, you couldn't even maintain the element of surprise. But for Kagurabachi, for all the hype, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, Ravi, it's good to see you. You're coming in on my impressions for Kagurabachi. I may not turn this into a series simply because, I mean, it's nice. It's an interesting series, but it's not holding on to me as I would have expected. Like with all the hype that people put behind this series, so much that they said it surpassed My Hero in popularity, surpassed One Piece in popularity. I would have thought that it would have a lot more going on. And maybe I'm just saying this because I've only read 5 chapters. Maybe I need to get like 20 or 30 chapters in, but even then that seems to be a bit too long. You should be grabbed and held fast by a series by its first chapter, because that's your first introduction into it. But I don't know. Like I said, it seems all right, but for all the hype I've been hearing about this entire series, it just ain't really doing it for me. Can I be honest? Can I really be honest? I can tell from the first chapter if a story's going to be for me or not. How long is it? It's only like 5 chapters thus far. It's only like 5 chapters. It just debuted last month. And it's only 5 chapters. The latest chapter dropped yesterday. Going to give it a couple more chapters to see if I fully invest in reading it. Maybe. I mean, I'll probably check this out on my own time. Because I feel, you know what I want to think, Holster? I think that if the confrontation between Chihiro and Genichi Sojo does not solidify you for the story, I don't think anything else will. Considering he's a person that has one of his father's swords, that confrontation has to be the deciding factor. I'm just thinking. That's just what I'm thinking. Because from a story standpoint, that should be the big moment that decides, okay, now I'm fully invested. When he confronts a person that has one of his father's sword for the first time, that should be that deciding moment that says, hey, I'm going to keep reading this series. So we'll have to see. Now, like I said, I'm probably going to read this on my own time. But that's going to decide if I continue reading it. That's just how I feel on it. I had a feeling that this stream wasn't going to be too long because it was only just me. It was only going to be me reading 5 chapters. Yeah, that's what you're going to wait on and see, wait and see that until that confrontation concludes. I feel like that's the big moment. With One Piece, you're engrossed from the first chapter. With My Hero, you're definitely engrossed from the first chapter. Jujutsu Kaisen is a very interesting first one, and you're engrossed in there. One Punch Man, you're engrossed from like the first couple of panels because you see this dude just one shot an enemy, and it's all like, okay, I want to see more of this. Kagurabachi seems like it's one of those slow burns. Seems like it's one of those slow burns where you need to read more than just the first chapter to really, really, really get into it. And I can understand the edgy memes that can come from it. Every day I wake up with fresh hatred that literally just screams, I'm going to use this meme whenever I am on Twitter or Reddit or wherever place can give me a whole bunch of attention because I'm edgy. But we'll have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been my reaction to the first 5 chapters of Kagurabachi. And I have to say, it's alright. Don't understand the hype all that much, but it's alright. It's not bad, but it's not grabbing me as much as I would have thought it would. I wonder if we're gonna get my character progression development right now. It seems just like a battle shonen vibe. Maybe. I mean, I wasn't engrossed with One Piece until about Orange Town, so that's why I waited to see if I got invested in the story or not. Everyone's got their different points on what really interests them in manga and such. But Kagurabachi, I feel like it needs to go just a little bit further for me to be fully invested. But that's all I got to say about it. Pretty alright series thus far, but we'll see where it goes from here. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all enjoyed my first impressions of Kagurabachi. And to everyone, Anime All Day TV, Kitty, Ravi, everyone, all I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, then do these things because not only are they free, but they help the channel grow even larger. Like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. And also, I feel like commenting helps as well. Like, commenting on videos, they also help the algorithm, I think. So I might just say like, subscribe, and comment down below because if you guys want to share, you guys will do that. So like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of this whole experience. And because the more the merrier, and because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. Look at me butchering my own outro. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!